Right. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. So we continue with the discussion on reading advanced text. We did one session last week, and like I was mentioning today, I was thinking maybe because of time and because of the length of this chapter, we can't do everything. So if we can focus on those particular aspects of this chapter that are quite difficult, then I think maybe we can be able to accomplish something. So Fauzia was talking about, for example, how to know whether it's inna or anna. There's no tashkil, there's no anything, you don't know, you can't be able to read it. So the thing with inna and anna, so for example, in this part here, the anya too. So if you have the hamza is at the top, that's going to be an a. You have the hamza at the bottom, that's going to be an e. That's a kind of like an automatic giveaway. So if you see that, and then of course it depends what comes after it. If it's at the beginning of the sentence, it's going to be inna. If it's in the middle of the sentence, it's going to be anna. So that's kind of just like how the Arabs understood it. So you can't have inna in the middle of the sentence. It's going to be at the beginning of the sentence. Yeah. So like, for example, now this one, it's not going to be inna because it's in the middle of the sentence. So it's going to be in kuntum. So if you see in the middle of the sentence, it's going to be in, if. Yeah. So that's just kind of like how you kind of figure those things out. Any other, what else did you want? I forget what else you mentioned.
Okay, so one of the things was inna generally was indeed or surely, but it also means that. And as we've gone through the passage, what I've realized is it's generally being translated as that. Is that true?
Inna.
Anna.
Anna means that. Anna always means that. Inna is the one that means surely, indeed, verily, certainly, no doubt.
Right.
Yeah. But Anna means that.
And in means if.
Yes, and in means if. Yeah, so those are very handy to distinguish between all those, so you can be able to have a clear idea of, what's what. Any other clarifications or questions you guys have? Or can we maybe look at a particular sentence and we try to figure out the grammar of it?
Ilham?
Yes.
Page 9, all the sentences that starts with Anna, right?
Page 9. Yeah, you're talking about this
All
page?
these are, yes.
Yes, this is Anna. All of it. If you see the hamza on the top, that's going to be Anna.
Yes. So here all of the meaning is that, right? That, it goes like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you see this introductory part here. It says لَقَدْ تَبَيَّنَ. It has been clarified, or it is, because تَبَيَّنَ, it's lazim. So it is clear. You can even say it is clear. It is clear that, so that, this is the first clause, then that, this, the second clause. So all this, they go back to this first point. So that's kind of what is happening here.
So you translated لَقَدْ تَبَيَّنَ as it is clear.
Yeah, because tabayyana itself to be clear.
And okay, so when we were doing laqad in the Quran, Ustad said la was for the lam of stress and qad was already.
Yes.
But here it's different.
Can say. No, you see, the thing is, when it comes to the Quran, like what he's talking about, actually, he's talking about khususiyat, and the Quran has its own specific usages. Like when it uses laqad, there's a specific meaning for laqad. When it uses, for example, they talked about the matar versus ghayth. When he uses matar in the Quran, it has a specific usage. When he uses different words and even emphasis, like when he uses them in different places, it has a specific, unique, and just special use for the Quran. But sometimes when you're speaking, like so in speech, in MSA, and in books like this, there's no specific usage of words. Like somebody can use laqad tabayana, like laqad, and it doesn't like translate the way we would. It's not so strict the way you would be with the Quran. Even that's why you see when Ustad was doing this video lectures, he was just paraphrasing everything. Like he wasn't very strict in making sure that he translates the lam and the qad and this and all these different parts. He wasn't very strict. He was just paraphrasing everything and just giving the meaning of it. Because when the Quran is very, very different from all other kinds of speech in that sense. So you can actually try to capture all that, because after all, we are trying to learn how to understand the Quran. So that could be the thing, like you look at the lam and you say, okay, this is lam of emphasis, and qad means already. So it already became clear. You can say something like that. I don't know how I translated that. Did I just close? Again, it's a work in progress. I haven't really finished it. So what happened? Why is this blank? Oh. What? Here's my document. Okay, I was a bit worried. I was like, what is happening? Okay, so this is I don't know what part that would be. Oh yeah, so that this, yeah, it has become evident. That is what I translated it as. Has become evident. You can't say it has already. You can put. I can even add there for those of you who want the meaning of qad to be captured there. That's possible. So then you have all these points that have become evident that they're talking about. Right. Any other point of clarification in the text, or grammatical analysis, or how to check a word? For example, I know there are certain words here that are very, very difficult to find, and you might miss some of them, especially if you don't understand the sarf of it. Yeah.
I have one. It's the last line on page 6, continuing to page 7. وَيُوَدِّهُ لَكَ مَا ذُكِرْتُ. Last line on page 6.
Okay. وَيُوَضِّحُ لَكَ مَا ذُكِرْتُ. Yes.
So this was translated as I meant, no, what I mentioned was clarified for you. And when I was reading it, to me, it was, he clarified for you what I mentioned. And could you just do a little bit of explanation of how it's gone the other way?
So, first of all, it's not, this is kind of like just where common sense and a bit of sarf and just trying to analyze the text comes in. Because if you read it as active, وَيُوَضِّحُ, he explains or he clarifies. He, because it's active, we know who the doer is. But then if you say he clarifies what I have mentioned to you, then who is he? What are we talking about here? So that's why I use the passive, وَيُوَضَّحُ. Whatever has been mentioned will be clear, or what I have mentioned to you would be explained. So if you change it to passive, then it kind of makes more sense. I don't know if. So وَيُوَضَّحُ. Instead of يُوَضِّحُ, so عَلَّمَ يُعَلِّمُ, then you go to this passive line, علم يعلم وضح يوضح ما ذكرت.
Yeah,
And of course,
it's clear when you explain it like that.
yeah. And so the ما ذكرت, this part, this ما is اسم موصول, and then of course ذكرت is a صلة الموصول, and together they are the نائب الفاعل of يوضح. So what I have mentioned will be clarified or be explained. Okay. Any other thing? So where are you guys currently? Which page? Or which pages? Or have you guys given up? Page 14.
No. Page 14, but it's gotten easier after the page 7, 8, 9.
Then it's going to get a little bit harder. Then it's going to get a little bit easier. So something to look forward to.
Page 11.
Page 11.
The summa in al-Qur'ana lahu khususiyat. This sentence, if we could destructure it and make sense of it, because I have all the words and the meanings, but I have difficulty putting it all together.
All right. So let's figure it out. So what type of a word is summa?
Ataf.
Yeah. So we leave this one alone because it's a harf. It doesn't have any place in grammatical analysis. Then how do you read this word?
In al-Qur'ana?
Yes. So that means, what is this? You have inna. When you look at a...
It's a mubtada.
So that's our mubtada. Then you have lahu. What is that?
متعلق بالخبر.
And it's obviously muqaddam because yeah. And then what is khususiyatun?
Khabar then.
There you go. And then you have fi isti'mali al-fadhi. So what do you
that's a mutalik bil khabar second.
Where does it end?
Doesn't it then end there? Al-Alfazi?
Yes. So this whole thing.
That's the whole sentence.
Yeah. And be K2. Because isti'mali al-fadhi, that is mudaf mudaf ilayh, right? So that's basically your jumla ismiya there. So now you have to ask yourself.
Now it's the second sentence that's really bothering me.
Oh, faqad.
That's the one. Yes.
Okay, sorry. I'm trying to.
No.
Okay. So obviously, faqad, we leave that one alone because it doesn't do anything in the grammatical analysis. Then you have ikhtassa. Ikhtassa, yakhtassu, like iqtaraba, yaqtaribu. But then because it's muda'af, so two of the last letters are the same. So you had the sad and the sad. That's why it's kha, sa, sa. Those are the root letters. So ikhtassa, yaqtassu. So that's our fi'l, right? And then now we have to figure out what next. So who's the doer? Do you see any? Okay, oh, you can't see because it doesn't have tashkil. But so the thing is, the doer is the inside pronoun huwa. So we found two things. We found the fi'l and we found the doer, who's the huwa, the inside pronoun. Now we have to look for maf'ul, muta'alliq, and anything else that could maybe sifa, hal, whatnot, all that stuff, right? So
kasiran is hal, and min al-alfazi bi istimalatin khassatin is muta'alliq bil fi'l.
Kathiran, I don't think it's hal, because hal only happens at the end of a sentence when the sentence is complete. But when I just say ikhtassa, yeah. So most likely it's a maf'ul bihi. Like he specified what? Kathiran min
Tamiz can be a tamiz, right?
Yeah.
Or it can be a tamiz.
Here it can.
Yeah, it can also be a tamiz because it clarifies like an ambiguous statement. I'm not
Quantity,
sure.
like quantity, a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So كثيرا من الألفاظ, this is one thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And then you have بالاستعمالات. What do you think بالاستعمالات خاصة?
Special in special usage. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have this also as one thing, right? Because you have باء is a حرف عطف, استعمالات is اسم مجرور, and then خاصة is the صفة to the اسم مجرور. So that's what's happening there. And of course, this is a متعلق بالفعل. And به is also connected. Again, with this, the thing is, this is just an aid. You will see a lot of aids coming back. In fact, somebody was complaining, like, what's happening with the aids everywhere? That's just how Arabs speak. You know, the it always comes back. And even in English, they try to bring it, but it doesn't work. So you will see it everywhere in Arabic. Yeah. So it doesn't create any new meaning. It's going back to something that has already been mentioned. And it's not strictly for Isim Mawsul and Silatul Mawsul. I know that's where we studied it in Isim Mawsul and Silatul Mawsul, but the Aid is a much bigger topic, and it happens in a lot of other areas as well. So if you see it, like in this case, Bihi is just an Aid going back to كثير من الألفاظ. Okay. Then we have, what is mimma? What is mimma? What do you think is happening? Yeah. So this is another متعلق. Yeah. So min plus ما will be the the اسم موصول. And of course that اسم موصول and whatever comes after is going to be its صلة. So يدل على القصد الواضح في التعبير. So this whole thing again is going to be another متعلق. So you realize that a lot of actually sentences in Arabic are just a bunch of متعلقs, like just like compounded together. And of course, if you go inside of it, then you have مما, and then inside the صلة الموصول you have a complete sentence. يدل على, so يدل will be your فعل, على القصد الواضح, that's a متعلق again, and then في التعبير another متعلق. See that? So you just have to really like go one by one. Ask yourself the important questions. If it's a جملة اسمية, then you have a مبتدا خبر متعلق بالخبر, and if there's any other component that comes there. And if it's a جملة فعلية, then you start with the فعل, the فاعل, the مفعول, متعلق, and anything else you can figure out. Most of the time it's just going to be a bunch of متعلقs. Most of the time. So you just have to. But of course, these متعلقs, they're going to be probably like this ones, complex ones, where it's an entire sentence on its own. In fact, like even the Quran is like that. It's just a very complex متعلقs بالخبر and فعل. Yeah. So I don't know if that's clear.
It's clear. Could I translate it?
Yes.
And then I had a lot of trouble translating and getting a meaning out of this.
So let me help you out. If you're dealing with a جملة فعلية and you want to translate a جملة فعلية, you start with the dua. Start with the dua. And then you figure out the fact.
Here, dua is inside, so
yes.
it specializes.
Yes.
And so it specializes. So the question was how or what? Many of the words in special usage from what indicates clear intent in expression.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Does that sentence make sense?
Yeah, it does. Let me see what I did. You said this is page what?
11.
Although my pages are not, you know, where that would be. Let me just see the discussion. What is the discussion about? This is about فهو جرى على سنة. Okay.
It's about the wonders and.
So this is the page. Therefore, it is in line with. So Also, the Quran has its distinctions or specializations in usage of words, where it had specified a lot of words with specific usages which indicate the obvious intent in the expression. Kind of like what you said, right? What did you say again?
Yeah, it is, but it's put so much better together in your sentence. Okay.
Yeah. So this is basically the second part. For it had specified, اختص, specified,
Yeah.
a lot of words, كثيرا من الألفاظ, with specific usages بالاستعمالات خاصة, which indicates مما يدل على what was it? على اقتصاد something, intent, and تعبير something. Let's see. So that's
على
basically just it.
الاقتصاد
على
الواضح في التعبير.
Yeah. على القصد الواضح في التعبير. In clear, in obvious intent in the expression. Yeah. Yeah, but that's basically it. So you just figure out the parts. Once you figure out the parts, like we just did, then you try, if it's جملة فعلية, start with the doer, then the verb, and then the مفعول, and then the متعلق, and whatever comes after that. And that's just basically how you do it. With جملة اسمية, it's simple. You just move to the خبر, and you get it. Yeah, that's good.
Ilham,
Yeah.
I have a question. The same page, 11th page, the starting of the 11th page.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yes, please. This was a bad sentence.
Yeah, of course, I could figure out the meanings. That's not the problem. But I was thinking of the phrases, like these were quite new for me. فأي in هذا أيها الناس. I mean, it's repetitive. It's like a phrase, right? It says, I mean, I found out like, what a miracle. What
Yeah.
miracle is this, oh people?
Yeah.
And again, what miracle is this?
Yeah, so the thing
Call
about this
us.
book that I found out is that the writer writes very passionately, right? And he's trying to capture the emotions, and he's trying to like appeal to your emotional side or
Yeah,
something. It's like poetry. Yeah. So that's kind of like what he's
yeah,
trying,
yeah.
his writing style, if you will. So yeah, so this part is just
Yes.
basically أي إعجاز هذا أيها الناس. Like he's trying to appeal to you, like what kind of a miracle is this, guys? This is amazing. Like that's just kind of like what he's trying to say, basically.
Yeah,
It's not,
it's like, oh, like you use oh, like that, something like that. Yeah,
yeah,
more exaggerative. Yeah,
yeah, exactly, yeah. And when you get to page like 21 and 22, he does that a lot. There's a lot of emotions and poetry and trying to, like, the expressions there, they get really intense, which is really beautiful, actually. It makes you appreciate the Arabic language even more.
yeah. That's true. Okay.
So could you translate this line that Asma has pointed out? Yeah.
So let's look at it, and then we'll go to translation. So we start from the beginning, or just the ayu ijazin part?
Ayu ijazin part.
Okay. So for ayu, of course we leave this, but okay. So fa is, we know, harf atuf. Ayu is a special mudaf. Okay, so it can be ayu, ayya, ayi, depending on what it does in the sentence. So of course that's why it's i'jazin. So that's a mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Okay, and then you have hadha, and it's an ismul ishara. Ayyuha. Ayyuha is harful nida, and of course you're pointing to something that is proper. So you have to bring in the seat of ha. You can't just say ya na annas. You can't say ya annas. It doesn't even sound right. You have to say ya ayyuha annas. So the ya is hidden, it's mahdhuf. That's just they do it for ease, I think. So هذا أيها الناس. So أي إعجاز, that would be our mubtada, and then هذا, that would be our khabar, and أيها الناس is just a harf nida and a munada. Like that's basically kind of what's happening. Let's see how I translated it. So yeah, what kind of miracle? So ayu means which kind. That's what ayu means. So what kind of miracle? Which miracle is this? You can also say, which miracle is this? But I prefer what kind of miracle, because it kind of like it's more, I don't know, makes more sense. So what kind of miracle is this people? What kind of miracle is this scholars? What kind of miracle is this people fascinated with knowledge? Like basically it's just shouting at people. I don't know if that's how I should explain it, but you know, sometimes like you're talking to people, the way I talk actually, I'm like, what is this, guys? So that's just what he's saying. Instead of guys, he's using people, he's using scholars, he's using people fascinated with knowledge, this entire phrase over there. So that's whole, like he's just calling people. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Anything else? Any other brain teasers? Or should I tease your brain?
One more. You know how it was too late yesterday. I'm sorry for bothering you about the passive and feminine thing. But I did want to see how you looked it up on, did you say Hans Wehr? Because there were a few words that I could only get one meaning of from arrow tools, and I'm having a difficult time trying to use Almane. I don't know why, but I just don't get it.
So you know how to go to Hans Wehr. You can be able to go here.
Yes, I know how to get there. I don't know how to search it properly.
Okay, so what word was it?
I was looking up ikhtisas, but I realized that I didn't ikhtasa, but I didn't have the correct root. So if I don't have the correct root, that's what's going to cause me the most problem when I have to look up Hans Wehr, correct?
Yep, absolutely. So sometimes our tools will give you
the root. Yeah,
yeah.
So if supposing I know the roots, then Hans Wehr,
yeah,
I would put in qaf sod
ha,
search here. Yes,
not qaf, ha,
not qaf, qaf.
Ha.
And should I space them out? Yeah.
No, you don't have to. You can write like that.
Oh, you could do that. Okay.
Actually, when you're dealing with muda'af, you don't type all the three harakat, all the three root letters. You just type the first one and the second one. So kha and sad. That's it. Yes. If it's muda'af. But if it's others, you have to type all the three. So normally the muda'afs are at the beginning of the page of any. So you see like this one, khassa. So that's where you would find it at the beginning. Like you see this one, the last word was khasha. The ending was shin. So now you're at the beginning of the word kha plus sad. That's where you'll find muda'afs on Hans Wehr. You won't find it on kha, sad, and sad. You would find it at the beginning, right? And then
I couldn't find it.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
So you found qassa, and now I looked through and figured out
which family is it.
Yeah, no, it was. Oh yeah. So I have to look for wherever the family comes up. So it says family 8, so that's Iqtaraba.
Yes. So you look for family 8. Here it is. So normally it will just go in the order. So khassa, that's family 1. And then when you scroll up, you're going to see family 2 here. And then if there's a family 3, you'll see it. If there isn't, you won't see it. So there's no family 3, there's no family 4, there's a family 5. And there's no 6, there's no 7, there's 8. So then that's when you know, okay, so this is what I'm looking for: to distinguish, to favor, to confer distinction, to devout, to dedicate. It has a lot of meanings: to be distinguished, to be marked. So again, it depends, because they will tell you in the brackets. So you see, for example, be upon someone by. So when they tell you this, like to distinguish, favor, it will come with a ba, okay, and it will come with someone, like it will mention someone with. And then it will be like you're conferring favor or distinction to someone. Okay. But that's not what we're looking for. What are we looking for? It was ikhtassa.
Yeah, we're looking for it specified or it specializes. Those were the meanings that I found. But that's not clear on Hans Wehr.
It will be clear, you'll see. Where's this passage again?
It's 11.
Page 11.
Third para. Page 11, third para.
Oh, yeah, it's right here. I don't know why I was
Yeah.
not seeing it. So اختص, you see, it doesn't come with ba anywhere.
No, no.
Or does it? باستعمالات خاصة.
Oh, it's so far away.
Yeah, I had not noticed that actually. I don't know. So let's see what Hamza has to say with اختص. Actually, most of them actually come with ba, you would see. So اختص به, and then you have, it means to be peculiar, to concern, to regard. All of this come with ba.
Yes.
Be competent.
That was the other problem I was having, because
So you see the
there
last
was
one?
no bar after it.
Yeah. So the last one is saying to have a special function or task. Be something. Right. So this is kind of like what we're looking for. To have a special function or a special task. Or even
hard.
distinction. Because I think in my translation, I prefer distinction to
Distinction to all others. Okay.
Yeah, so I use
It.
distinction.
So it has a distinction.
Yes. So it distinguish. Did I say distinguishing? Yeah, it has its distinctions or specializations in usage. Like it has its very specific way in which it uses certain things. That's basically the meaning that they're trying to say. Yeah. I hope that's clear.
Still muddling through.
Yeah, it's really good, you guys. I'm really sure that you have seen some progress where you were, and after this text, yeah, it has really taken you through a quick journey, waking you up in Arabic in different aspects of it, which is great. Right. Any other questions or clarifications, or any word that maybe you want us to discuss, or structure?
I think, Ilham, I just want to share one thing. I think from the tafsir reading, I feel that we should really have a balance between the figuring out the i'rab and the content meaning, because I think both of them equally important in our studies, but generally, there's a thought that for the tafsir, the content meaning is more important, right? Rather than looking into so deep what is the fi'l, fa'il, all those grammatical aspects. So
Absolutely.
I realized that I should set one balance between the both, because the more I dwell into the i'rab, then I am coming out of the content, or vice versa. So I thought there should be some balance between the both. Then I think we can enjoy it peacefully in both aspects.
100% I agree. You see, that's why, even like what I mentioned, when Ustad was doing this series in Ramadan, like, I mean, first of all, he actually made some mistakes because he's human. I mean, we understand that. But then second of all, he was just not trying, he didn't care so much about translating it correctly, or translating it in the order that it comes in the book, or translating it as mubtada khabar, whatever. Like, he was just trying to paraphrase it so that we can understand the meaning. And the most important thing is to actually understand what the book is trying to say. Like, the book is pointing out, oh, the Quran uses rih in terms of, in punishment, and it uses riyah in good, and all these different aspects. So once you understand that, that unlocks for you the Quran. But when you go to the Quran, now you bring in your lenses of grammar. Now that's when you analyze every single little thing. Why is it a dhamma here? Why is it a kasra here? Why is it all the i'rab lenses? You bring it to the Quran. But to a text like this, I think, let's not be so strict with ourselves. Let's not be. I mean, we don't have to torture ourselves with this book, honestly. You have a point. We have to maintain a certain balance. Of course, let's not do it in a way that we get the wrong meaning. But at the same time, let's not be focused on, okay, so why is lahu muqaddam here? That's just how the Arabs talk, maybe, in modern times. I mean, yeah, we don't ask such questions when it comes to this book, I think. You have a good point there. All right. Any other questions, or do you guys want me to read for you now the book? Because I think like people are just like, oh, I don't want to any more of this book. Oh. Or actually, but you guys have really done well, because if most of you are like after you've done like halfway, almost not even halfway, because page 14 That's almost close to the end. And some of you probably are in page 16, 17. And 17 is probably the hardest, I think. Page 17 was serious. This was serious
Is it
stuff.
harder than page 7 and 8 and 9?
I think so.
Oh no.
Which
I
is
think so.
17, starting with, oh, this one. Oh, yeah,
Yes.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, this one. This one is
Yeah.
it was a lot.
Oh.
But then now
These words
that
are
I've
so difficult. Hasib, yeah. Hasbama and all that was really difficult to figure out.
yeah, because we've never heard of these words before. Like we had to go and look, okay, haythu, like we don't even use words like this, haythu, you know. But Arabs use them a lot actually. Haythu, I've heard it quite a bit. It's just that I've never paid attention to
Yeah.
like yeah. So you have some of
Oh,
them.
so quick
Haisu
question
means
here. There's a
Sorry.
Haisu is wherever.
Haythu, it means yeah, you can
In the
use
manner,
where
yeah.
in the manner since yeah, something like that.
so there's a ba before the haisu. So would it still be haisu?
Where? Where is the ba?
Ba siyaqu
No,
ba
it's
bahaisu.
bihaisu,
Oh,
right?
Bihaisu.
Yes, bihaythu.
Bihaisu, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's one word, or is
Yes.
that ba harf of jar?
It's gonna be ba harf of jar in this case. So
Or
you
it'll
can
still
use
be haisu.
yes, it will still be haythu.
Haisu is harf, right, Sister Ilham?
What is haythu? Haythu is a harf. I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think it's a harf. Yeah, so this ba, I don't know. I don't know what this ba is doing there. Honestly, I don't know. But
Is it ba zaid or something like that? Because it's
maybe.
what figure write out, it's like sometimes it's like jumla ismi, and then we find out it's ba something.
Honestly, I think I need to research for that. I don't know what happens when harf of jar come with harfs. I don't know. Don't know what
Is it
happens.
affecting Haisu?
Yeah.
Because harf, Haisu is harf, and
No, it
ba
won't
is also
affect
an
it.
harf.
It won't affect it. Like harfs don't change status. They will just still be. It will still be haythu. You won't read it as hayti. But I
It
don't know.
won't be.
Like yeah, it won't be. But I don't know the understanding of harfs coming with harfs and like what
Yeah,
happens.
the same poles are attracting here. How come?
Yeah.
No, what I understood is like first, Sister Ilham, whether my the way of understanding is, I was trying to figure out with the, unless you know the meanings, you cannot figure out the structure, sentence structure. So once you get into the words and the sentence structure, then you can somehow you can try to make out the meanings out of it.
Yeah, that's one way to
Then
go about it. Yeah.
so we have to just first go with the words, the meanings, and what conjugation it's doing there, and then the sentence structure.
That's a bit tricky, honestly. I tried that and I ended up translating wrongly several places because I was like, I'm not doing grammar. Grammar is too tough. Let me just see what I understand from the text and, try to translate it. And then I realized I'm actually making a mubtada khabar and I'm making a fa'il, a maf'ul, and I'm just mixing it all up. So what I would suggest is if you're looking at a fa'il, ask yourself, what is the fa'il? Figure that out fast. Once you figure out the fa'il, what is the maf'ul? What is the muta'alliq? What is anything else that I see? Is there a sifa? Is there a hal? What is this structure? What is this particular word doing here? After you figure out the fundamentals, you figure out the fi'al, the fa'il, the maf'ul, the muta'alliq. Then look at what else is in this sentence structure. That way, I think is the easiest and best way to go about it. If it's a jumla ismiya, what is my mubtada? What is my khabar? What is my muta'alliq with khabar? What else is happening in this structure? Then now when you bring in the meaning, you have the right meaning. It's just a matter of fixing the right meaning into that structure that you've already set. But if the other way is easier for you, you can try it as well. Just make sure that you don't mix up the different parts of the sentence. I've done that, honestly. Like there's a sentence. Let me show you guys. Oh, I'm gonna tease your brain a little bit. Shahira, just be patient a little bit, and then we get to you. There's a sentence. Where are you? Is it page 21 or 22?
Najish is saying it's a Zarf Makan.
Oh, it's a verb. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Like, I knew it was an ism. Yeah. Yeah, like I wasn't sure that was an
Correct.
ism
Yeah,
somehow.
because I know the meaning translation of it wherever.
Where,
Somehow, yeah.
yeah. Okay, so I think this is it. Yeah. So like I got stuck in this part. This part. ولا أوقدت مصابيح عهدها بنور بعيد. I got
Which page
stuck
number,
here.
Sister?
This is page 22, sorry, the last page.
Okay.
I got stuck here for a really, really long, because I wasn't understanding what's happening. Because first of all, let me remove the harakat so that you see what you're going to be dealing with. Okay. Let me just delete the entire thing.
Knock, knock. Knock, knock.
Who's there? Whose cute baby is that? Anyway, so this is what I was dealing with, and I'm seeing wala uqidat, definitely that's passive, and I'm like, okay, so what is the ism fa'il? And I was like, ahduha, there's a dhamma there, is that ism fa'il? But I'm like, ahduha is not mu'annas, this is uqidat. There's something feminine is doing something, or is being done to something. And I was just stuck, and I was like, okay, I figured out. So masabihu is definitely the isim fa'il, the naibul fa'il, sorry.
You mean? Yeah, naibul fa'il.
Naibul fa'il, sorry. So that's the naibul fa'il. Okay, so what is this ahduha? What is this? And then I'm like, binuri ba'idin. What is happening? What is this? Like, I got stuck here for a really, really long time. And yeah. And then I had to ask, honestly, because I couldn't figure it out. What do you guys think? Do you have any ideas? If we just look at this structure, what would be your initial thoughts? Like,
It
okay,
kindles the light far away with it.
yeah, but what about ahduha and binur? What do you do there?
Ahduha and binuri is an ahduha mudaf ilayh.
Ahduha is mudaf ilayh, sure. But what
Okay.
role is it doing in the sentence?
Yeah, it's having a dhamma.
Oh my God.
What is it?
It can't be a new sentence, right?
Uh,
Definitely it can't be.
No,
It's a sentence on its own, but it's joined. Like it has to
Is this one masabiha or masabihu?
It's a maf'ul as mism file. They acts like a verb and nothing like that.
Oh, correct.
This is a masdar. Ahdu is a masdar.
Yeah, it's masdar. Yeah.
Master.
Ahdu is
This masab.
covenant promise, right?
Read me the masabiha.
So obviously we figured out masabihu. I think we're all in agreement. So the thing I was stuck obviously is this one. What do you guys think?
What is the meaning of that? Ahdun?
Ahdu means like stretched or far away or lifetime or lifespan, or like it has, let's just go to answer. Let's just, you see the
There is
meaning.
also another meaning, covenant, right? In the Quran, it comes as covenant. Is
Yeah,
that the
but
word?
that's the
Sure.
word. Like contract, or the one means contract.
Yeah,
It also means knowledge.
Covenant.
Covenant.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so when
Sister
you write
Ilham,
the meaning, yeah.
when you get at the semicolon, that means it has a new meaning, right? In this dictionary, I had knowledge. There's a
Yes.
semicolon in the dictionary, Hansware.
Yes.
That means it's having a new meaning, right?
That means the meaning ends here. So this is one meaning. This is another meaning when it comes with the well-known familiar nature of someone. This is another meaning.
What does it semicolon indicate, Sister Ilham?
The end of a meaning. Like this is one.
No,
you
the
have-
above with bow with, and there is a bracket is closed in the second line.
Yeah.
This one, yeah. What does
Yeah.
it show?
So you see, knowledge has a semicolon, right? So that's meaning one.
Okay.
Acquaintance, contact, be with, that's meaning two. So like
Okay.
it restricts the meanings with semicolons. So
Okay.
the well-known familiar nature of someone, that's another meaning. Close observance, strict adherence to, keeping fulfillment, of a promise, that's another meaning. Delegation, assignment, committing, it comes with ila and ba of something to someone, vesting, all these are different meanings. So that's kind of just how you understand. So when you see a semicolon, end of meaning, then beginning of new meaning, end of meaning, beginning of new meaning. That's just basically what it means. Yeah.
So now when we're trying to solve this assignment, how because some of the verbs comes with the harfs as well, and when they come with a harf, it makes a different meaning, right? So
Yes.
how would we know like it is married to that harf, and which verb is attached to what? How would you know this one? Because I was trying to figure out some of the words, and I spoke to you and Sanada, and you said it is married to harf ila.
Yeah.
So how would we know? But does the answer shows that as well?
Yeah. So you see, like for example, ahd, there's no bracket with b or ila or fi, there's nothing. It just says knowledge. When it comes as ahd, just like that, it could mean knowledge without any harf. But if it comes with, see, the second meaning is with, it comes with a ba. Instead the bracket is ba. So ahd b, it could actually mean contacted or acquaintance, something like that. Or it could also mean like, if it comes with ila, for example, it could mean delegation, assignment, committing. So you just look at what's in the bracket. And I think I will pick an example, a good example where that happens, so that you can actually see how different the meanings could be. Shahira, you've been raising your hand for a really long time. I think I should let you speak. Otherwise, we might, might never speak.
It's okay, I can wait.
Okay.
No problem.
Was it anything urgent, or we continue with our tangent? Okay. So Anjum is saying, could it be a badal? What could be a badal? Oh, ahduha binuri ba'idin. So most likely it's not going to be a badal because it's an entire sentence we're looking at here. And I thought about it actually, whether it's a badal, but I think it's more of a sifa than a badal. So I ended up saying that it's a sifa actually. I thought about it being a badal because the badal means you're going to replace the masabihu entirely with ahd. If I removed masabih, the sentence should still make sense. But I think if you remove the masabih, you kind of lose the meaning. So that's why I decided it was a sifa. Because you have a common word, masabihu is common, right? And then it's followed by a jumla ismiya, which I couldn't figure out that it was jumla ismiya until like later on. That's why ahdu. Sorry, yeah, this is a jumla ismiya and it's a sifa of that. So that's kind of how we try to figure out. But let's look at the word ahd. We were looking at the word ahd. So you see when you continue, you see it starts to talk about promise, pledge, vow, oath, contract, covenant, agreement, time, epoch, era. It has a lot of different meanings, right? Then you have examples that they give you. So hadithul ahd, like it means recent, qaribul ahd, things like that. So it gives you different kinds of meanings. And then you go on early date, long standing. It has a lot of meanings, this one. And that's why I think I was like really stuck with it. And it gives you examples, like I said. So lam yakun lahu bihi ahd, he has or had never experienced it. If I say lam yakun lahu bihi ahd, he has never experienced it. He doesn't have ahd with him, so he has never experienced it. Or he has never come in contact with it. Yeah. So I used the meaning of those. Was it? Where is the meaning that I'm looking for? Because again, you see, it keeps on going. And to find the right meaning, just where was it? Yeah. So you see, ahdu, to last or have lasted a long time. Kind of, I use this to mean like lifespans or lifetime. I'm not really sure about my translation still. I need to really look at it. This one was a tough one, honestly.
I think we can post this to Ustad, valid question.
Yes. Yeah. So that's basic. I just wanted to like like show you like how crazy the structure can be. Like, what is happening here? And how do you determine the meaning of this thing when it has like 100 different meanings and all are different? Like, contract is so different from time. Like, how do you know it's time? Is it its contract? Is it its knowledge? Is it its, what is it? Like, so you just have to find the right thing that connects with masabih. Yeah. Yes, now Shahira, you can go.
Oh, okay. My question was about the in the page 13, fihinin, that one.
Yeah,
I
fihinin.
wanted to know about the eyes and springs. I couldn't understand why there are different meaning, like springs and eyes, seeing eyes.
So you
Not
want
sure
the
about that.
translation of this entire page? Like you want me to read for you what I wrote? Or do you want...
I just okay, you can do that. And I need some explanation.
Okay, we can do that. So about ayn and a'yun. Yes, so here we are. Okay, so first of all, what you need to understand, let me just go back to the beginning. So what he says, also the Quran has its distinctions in usage of words. Like it has specific ways in which it uses words. For it had specified a lot of words with specific usages which indicate the obvious intent in the expression. So now he's explaining some of the specific usages in the Quran. Like he will mention a couple. So that's what we're talking about. So the first one is rih and riyah. And then you have the second one is the word matar and ghayth, how he has used matar and ghayth in the Quran differently and specifically. And then you have now the third one is the usage of al-a'yun and uyun. So uyun and a'yun. So he says, and among this or among that is what the Noble Quran specified and thus distinguished in the usage of al-a'yun and al-uyun. For he did not use al-uyun except with the springs of water. So one thing you need to understand, ayn means both eyes and it also means spring, ayn. But when it comes to the plural, you have two different plurals in the Quran. In the Quran, uyun is strictly used for springs of water. And a'yun is strictly used for eyes. So that's just what he's saying, basically. Even though the singular word is ayn. Yeah.
Okay. Now I got
Now
it.
you get it? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of like what he's just saying there. Somebody else here. Any other questions, guys?
Ilham, can you read the 17th page beginning meaning?
17. Okay. That was a nutcracker, that one.
The Hasbama one.
Yes. Where is it? Okay. No. Was it that one? I could. Yeah, this is the part. So this is how I translated it. And so it's talking about how the Quran does different things in the beginning. So if you look at page 16, it will say the Quran, for example, emphasizes with inna alone, and it could emphasize with al-lam alone. So it's talking about emphasis in this particular passage, right? So it says in the Quran takes away emphasis in some expressions. Okay, so what I did, let me explain to you what I did in my translation, is I put words in brackets that are not there in the book, just to make the English flow better and bring out the meaning. So these words in brackets, these are my own words. They're not there in the book. So if you go look at it and be like, but it doesn't say in some expression, yeah, it doesn't, because I just put it there to make sense. Yeah. So and the Quran takes away emphasis in some expressions and it adds emphasis in other expressions, reaching up to hundreds. It just says hundreds, but then I added of expressions just to make sense in English. And it takes into consideration in all that the precision in expression and placement of each word in its place according to what the context dictates. Yeah. Given that it is not appropriate or correct to place an emphasized expression in a place void of expression, of emphasis, sorry. So you cannot put a lam where there's no emphasis, or you cannot emphasize, and he also says, and it is also not appropriate or correct to place what was emphasized with one with more than one emphasizer in a place that was emphasized with only one emphasizer. You cannot add emphasis. You cannot emphasize more when it wasn't emphasized more. You cannot remove or you cannot add. The Quran, you know, like it has, what did it say? It takes into consideration the precision in expression and placement of each word in its place according to the context. So the context is what decides how many emphasizes will, you know, this particular part have, if anything. And he gives examples. Is like, you know, there are certain places where you have no emphasis at all, and then in the same example you will have one emphasis. So this is like the same sort of ayah structure. And unless you forgive me, I will and have mercy upon me, and if you do not forgive us and have mercy upon us, same kind of structure, but one has no emphasis, the other one has one emphasis, the other one has two emphasis, things like that. So that's basically what this chapter is talking about. I don't know if that's a little bit clear now. Yeah, this
So
part
here
is a doozy here.
Siyaq means context, right? I mean the meaning of the words in the passage.
Yes.
In that para.
Yeah. Context, siyaq.
Context. Hasbama means? What is it actually?
According to. Hasbama.
According to. Oh,
yes.
okay.
According to the context.
It's one word.
Yes. You can say hasabama or you can say hasbama. Both readings are correct. No problem, Shahira, that's fine.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. The last line was so very difficult for me to understand. Now
17?
It's alhamdulillah clear.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because the structure, I mean, like by the way, the way I've done my translation is I've tried to capture the structure of the sentences in the book. That's why it's actually a bit difficult to read also. It's not simple English here. I've tried to capture the way the writer has written it. So, and because I've tried to do that, it's not easy reading. So you can see like a sentence like this, and it takes into consideration in all that, the precision. Let's just say it takes precision into consideration, you know, simple English. But I mean, the guy just had to go round and round and do all this. Anyway.
So in content meaning. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, Ilham, in the content meaning is what I understood is there are places in the other places in the Quran where that is the ta'kid is that emphasis, and as well as without emphasis, there are some ayat that are coming, right? The first line, that is the content meaning, right?
Yeah.
That they are trying to say.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to say. Like the Quran, there are places, expressions that have emphasis, and the same expressions don't have emphasis. The examples, like for example, the examples he gave. Yeah, and only context will determine what has emphasis and what doesn't.
Yes.
That's basically it. I mean, the guy just had to frustrate our minds. That's the understanding. Yes, Fahima? You want to say something? Or who was it? Okay. Yeah, anybody else with anything that maybe you feel like we need to take a look? Once I have finalized this document, I will share it with you guys, inshallah. Because I feel like there are a few more things I need to figure out.
So I
there was also a new word like al-batata, right? Wala yafsihu al-batata. Al-batta, is it? Battata or batata?
So when you're just reading it, you just say wala yafsihu al-batta. You just, because that's how they speak.
Yeah, you stop there.
Yeah, you kind of stop there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all together, right? The meaning is all together.
Yes.
On page 6, the last para, can we do the grammatical analysis for that?
Page 6. Oh, this doozy one. Oh.
Yeah, that was really hard.
So from the beginning, or just this the quotation from Malakut Ta'wil?
Yeah, from the quotation. No, not from the quotation. Inna hazi surah.
Suwari. Suwara. Suwara. Because inna hada suwara.
Yeah.
So Again, if you just follow the formula that I told you, then it's just going to be easy. So think of it. Inna. What comes into your mind when you see inna? Kind of jumla. Yeah, harf
Mubtada.
nasab. Yeah,
Jumla
exactly. Yeah. So you think jumla ismiya, you think, okay, this is my mubtada. Let me find my ism. Then next to it you have hadihi suwara. You're like, okay, fine. Mubtada. Bucket complete. Then you have to look at the khabar. Where's the khabar? And then you have innama. Now, innama, whenever you see innama, just think of it as only and then put it aside. Okay? Like that's only, I'm going to put it aside. I'm not going to think about it right now. That's what you do with innama. Then you go next. You're like, okay, waqa'a. What is waqa'a? What kind of a word is waqa'a?
So verb?
Yeah, it's a fi'al. So when you see a fi'al, immediately your mind jumps to jumla fi'aliyah. Immediately. It cannot be anything else. It has to be a jumla fi'aliyah. And if it's a jumla fi'aliyah, then we have 4 things that we're looking at. Now, let's go back to the mubtada a little bit. Let's go back to inna. When you have a mubtada, when you have a jumla ismiya, sometimes you can have a complex jumla ismiya where you have a mubtada and then you have a complex khabar, right? Which is also a jumla fi'aliyah. So which means from the beginning here, I'm looking at a complex khabar. Whatever comes after it, everything else is going to be my khabar. So that whole bucket is going to be a khabar, right? So now I figured out my mubtada, I figured out my khabar. I know there's an is in between here. I wrote that in Arabic. How is it that I forgot how to write is? Oh my God. I was trying to write it like in Arabic, opposite. Anyway. Yeah. So now you know there's an is in between there. Done. Now let's go into the khabar. Now you go into the khabar, it's a jumla fi'aliyah. Now, waqa'a, this is my fi'al. Then, fi awwali kulli suratin. What is that? Minha. The whole thing is just one giant what?
متعلق بالفعل.
Yeah. So this thing, you could say even up to there, that's my متعلق بالفعل. 1, minha, متعلق بالفعل. 2. Remember I told you about Arabs, they love their متعلقs. Everything is just going to be a متعلق. Then you have ma kathura. Then you're like, what is this ma kathura? Then you ask yourself, okay, did I find a fa'il? What is the fa'il here? Waqa'a. What kind of, who is the fa'il in waqa'a? Is it what version is it? Is it huwa here? Anta?
Huwa.
It's a huwa. So if it's a huwa, I can look for an outside doer, right? So, okay, so maybe it was a huwa, but now that I have this ma kathura, maybe this is my fa'il, okay? So I could say, okay, fine. This, let's put it in a bucket. ما كثر ترداده فيما تركب من كلمها. So this is another bucket here. So I'm going to say, okay, that's my outside dua. And it's another bucket inside that dua. So ما اسم موصول. كثر صلة الموصول. Okay. كثر is what is it called? What is كثر? So basically,
اسم ترتيب.
yes, it's a كثرة. No, كثرة is
It's
not
a fi'al, right?
Yes, it's a fi'al. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
Karuba,
fi'al.
what is that family? Yeah.
Yeah, karuma. So this is another
Karuma
fi'al.
family. Yeah.
Okay. Again, you start looking for the fa'il. And then you have tardaduhu. Tardadu. Well, of course, that's a fa'il there. Because it's tardaduhu. And then fima. Of course, fima. Harf of jar. And then this is the ism of jar. Then this is ma mawsula. Tarakkaba. Silatul mawsul. So this is connected. So this is MBF 1. Min kalimiha MBF 2. And that giant bucket is all a fa'il. ما كثر ترداده فيما تركب من كلمها. All that is the fa'il of waqa'a. So when you're translating this jumla, you're going to start with this part because this is the fa'il. You're going to start with all this, then you bring in waqa'a. Okay? And then you figure out where you put only innama. That's just kind of how you figure that out. And then of course the MBFs, this MBFs, they come later after the verb. Yeah, it was
Fabulous.
a
Thank you.
one.
That
Yeah.
was really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, so you just have to figure out the buckets, the different buckets, and you're good. right. I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to ask. I know there's a lot, and given that we might not discuss this, or like this, we might not discuss this chapter again, because hopefully next week we're having another chapter. So I wanted to cover as much as possible before we move into something else. Anything else? All right, I think we are 10 past time. So if there's nothing else, I think we can end there. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم.
Thank you so very much for all your support.
You're welcome.